Hello viewers, with update 1.40 we have the Lake Louise circuit now added into the game. So for the first time we have a snow track in GT7. So I'm going to jump in and try and do the circuit experience. We'll then do some online races. So yes, first up the circuit experience, we're going to do the sectors first. So for those that have not seen this circuit, snow track set in Canada, and you know what, I quite like it after doing a couple of races and the circuit experiences. Now this is just the first sector, which comprises of the first corner, of course, and it's actually a really important corner for lap time given its banking, and we'll see just how important that is later as we go through the right and left of turn 2 and 3. I do apologise for just how bright it is, but some of you Canadians in the chat did confirm that it kind of is like this, so get your sunglasses out. So passing that on first time actually, but we can definitely go quicker than that. Second sector wasn't so easy, as you can see, as I kept flying into barrier, the Canadian barrier of all people. But this corner, this sort of tightening radius right-hander, it's just really a case of getting the car sideways. You can do that by steering quite aggressively, using the power, or even using the brake, of course. Now through this left-hander, again, some banking. You really do have to capitalise on that banking. I didn't quite do that there, but this was good enough for gold nevertheless, about half a second quicker than the requirement. Third sector is a very long right-hander, sort of more than 180 degrees. It does seem to go on forever, so you have to be quite patient here, get the car sideways, really facing the nose into the apex of the corner. And then you've got this sort of off-camber, very awkward left-hander before the finish line. So that again was first time, 4/10 quicker, and then the final sector was also done first time to wrap up the 4 sectors. That was actually quite tricky. I think this is going to be quite a hard one-lap attack, just string an entire lap together, but let's give it a go. So yes, this is my first attempt at the one-lap attack, and I would say this is one of the harder circuit experiences in the game. Really, because of the conditions. Obviously we're on snow. I think you can see that it's because it's all white, which kind of means it's not a tarmac circuit, which we're kind of used to. And therefore I thought, you know what, this is going to be quite tricky. You can't hit anything, otherwise it invalidates the lap. But you know what, I kept it quite clean and tidy, didn't really push too much, and on my first attempt I was able to get a gold medal with a 41.4, so it wasn't too tricky. So there was me back at the beginning thinking, you know what, this is actually going to be horrific and very difficult to do, but maybe not. First time, and we got a goal, 41.4, sorry, 6/10 faster. But here is my fastest lap. I just wanted to show you that first attempt, just to show you what you can sort of achieve in one lap. But this first corner is really about riding the banking on the outside. You really have to throw the car in, let the car run wide, sort of outside of this blue line. And when you really make the most of that banking, you can carry so much speed and get on the power very early. Through this right-hander, really keep it pinned to the right. This gives you a better exit through this left, as you can see, compared to the Ghost, pulling away. And it really is all about exit speed, I think, on this track. Carrying good speed through the corner and then getting that exit speed, that's where you really gain the time. So through this right-hander, just using the power, the steering, holding the brake to get the rotation, keeping that nose pointed towards the inside of the corner. This left-hander is actually quite nice. You really throw it in, go quite high up the banking, and it just hooks you round, and then you really gain a lot of time by doing that. And driving up the hill towards this difficult corner, I think this is one of the more difficult corners on the lap. You have to approach quite early, you have to really get the car sliding quite early and then keep the power on to keep the back end sliding round. I just don't quite get enough there as I run a little bit wide on the exit. Maybe lose a few tenths, but it's not too bad. This left-hander, quite awkward. I think you can run it quite close to the inside despite the camber. And then it's the last 2 corners. And again, it's a case of really throwing the back end of the car around quite early, pitching the nose in towards the inside, and then driving off in a straight line. So this was my best lap on this. Hopefully it helps out if you're trying to get the gold medal. In the end it was going to be a 1:39.3. So yeah, I managed to top my friend's leaderboard, at least for the time being. early days yet. But I think if you get those lines right, really focus on your exit speed and really just rotate the car with the power, then hopefully gold is achievable. But then for all of that, 200,000 for all bronzes and 1 million for all gold. Okay guys, we've done the circuit experience. Let's jump into some online races and witness the carnage. However, on this very first race, there wasn't really much carnage to speak of. Some of the cars behind were battering each other, but they were all in road cars. Now, it was very strange because some of us were in Group B cars, some of us were in road cars, so it was a bit disjointed as a lobby. But I was able to pull away quite easily at the beginning, and you know what? Have a very boring and lonely win. Okay guys, we've set up a lobby with Group B cars only, so let's see how this goes. Well, it didn't take long for things to go quite weird, should we say, as take a look at the NSX just in front as we head into turn number 1. He's wall riding. Bro, he's wall riding. Oh my goodness. How do we stop this? I don't know, Super GT. How do we stop this? I guess one way would be just to drive faster and be better. And yeah, I mean, there's a key issue here on this circuit, which is that of wall riding. It's very easy to do, and yeah, there's that. However, I must say that these races were actually incredibly fun. So let's not put too much of a downer on this, as all three of us go flying into Barrier, who's clearly a very popular person on that corner. And look how how close this race was. It was kind of strange in the lobbies, as I just touched upon, that you couldn't set the lobby to be Group B cars only for some reason. At least I couldn't find that option, so I just kind of told everyone to get in a Group B car, and they did. So we had a nice balanced close race here. So taking a nice inside line, I think once again this guy in front taking the wall riding option, so we're going to try and catch up with him here. However, things were about to turn quite sour for me, as we're going to turn left. But suddenly, out of nowhere, John Cena smashes into the side of us, and I've been demoted to position, but he's going to drive quite wide here, as we're going to try and perform the old switcheroo on snow. It's not quite going to happen, though. It's a close little battle, though. The top 6, I mean, there's only 7 of us in this lobby, but one guy's just sat at the exit of turn 1, doing nothing, and then all 6 of us are actually quite close. So into turn 1, there's a yellow flag, and I'm about to fall foul to some stewarding decisions, let's put it that way. So we're flying around the outside, this guy's just parked up on the apex, and boom, there we go. Ignored a yellow flag. And to be fair, I did. I mean, I can't really argue. I can argue with the consistency of the application of that penalty in the game in general, but I did overtake around the outside, flat out on the banking, so there is that. So serving the penalty, just after catching up with our wall riding friend. But I wasn't too far behind, because we could witness this, guys, look at this. The wall riding levitation technique, which is, I mean, the wall riding is being brought to another level, and this is a technique that I've never seen before, and it's not one that I think I can replicate. So we're really up against it here. This guy has clearly developed his techniques over many years, as the guy behind me almost hits me for the 2nd lap in a row, and that was very close indeed. So we're really up against it here. John Cena trying to wipe us out at the penultimate corner every lap. And then the wall riding levitator. And then someone parked up at the first corner. He goes for it again, and he does a nice little 360 reverse wall ride, wall bounce. I mean, the techniques are really coming out now. We're turning this into sort of a Call of Duty trick shot match. It really is quite insane. We're going to perform the old switcheroo here, and he stood no chance on the exit, driving away and leaving him for dust. And I must say, it was a comfortable victory from that point onwards, just quite effortlessly pulling away and bringing home a sensational victory.
Get in there, Lewis. Miracles do happen, mate.
There might be a problem on this track, guys, with wall riding. Okay guys, let's do the short track, see what this is all about. So yes, the second of 3 configurations, starting on the same main straight, but with well, a shorter lap, obviously, because it's called the short track. Anyway, into turn 1, kicking it sideways was thick strawberry there. Look at all the multiple interpretations of this line through the first corner. It's quite a cool, you know, a cool first corner. I think they designed it quite well to have that banking. There's definitely multiple interpretations of how to take it. And wow, everyone going very wide into that one. It's a bit of a chaos storm just behind us. Now, a little bit later on, at the beginning of lap number 2, let's make this a bit more fun. Go to the back of the pack and see what we can do. And I've got to say, these races are actually very, very good indeed. Everyone was actually quite well balanced, quite close, quite competitive, even if they were wall riding. Now, around the outside we go. Now, am I going to do a bit of a wall ride? Not quite. But look at this battle. I mean, there's 6 of us here, 7 of us battling for position. It's very close indeed. Into this left-hander. And it's a slightly different left-hander than the one on the long circuit, so not quite as sharp. So you can carry a bit more speed through that one. Now this guy, through this corner here, you see that the ice bank sort of juts out on the exit, so you've got to be really careful about that. And it's very easy to carry a bit too much speed through that right-hander and then smash into that. Kind of like the Titanic, I guess, you know, smashing into an iceberg. It can really destroy a race, and that's not a fate I wish upon anyone. So definitely watch out for the icebergs on the exit of that corner. Definitely not the optimal strategy on this circuit. Coming up towards turn number 1, lap number 3, maxing out the speed here. 150 mile an hour on snow, pretty insane. Running that deeper line and trying to get that right. And getting some good purchase on the exit. Carry some good speed through the corner. Thick strawberry just in front here. Having a bit of a mare. We're going to try and perform the switcheroo. It worked on the previous lap. Not quite going to work on this occasion. I do get a good run on the exit, and it's going to be me this time who really gets very close to the iceberg. But thankfully, we just managed to get the anchors on in time and divert our car away from it. So a very good battle here. Lap 3 of 5, 2 to go through the final corner. Maybe turned in a bit early there, raising our nose across the iceberg on the apex. And it's a drag race between myself in the Subaru WRX and Cavalier there in the Ford Mustang. Across the line we go, jumping at 145 miles an hour, 160 as we hit the brakes into turn number 1. And again, look at this, around the outside, carry that speed, and you just get so much more grip, so much more purchase on the snow, and boom, we're through, back into third. And this was going to be a very close moment just coming up here, guys. A real butt clencher, we could call it. As a thick strawberry, it's his turn now to get close to the iceberg, and boom, just into the gap. Incredibly close. I mean, 1 pixel away. You're thinking of the expression of sheer terror on my face as I got through that gap. And thankfully now we're setting our sights on the lead of the race. There he is. It's our wall riding friend. Can we get past him with 1 lap left to go? I mean, it's going to be a stupid question because we've perfected this line for this first corner. We're going to throw it in, carry the speed deep through the turn. Look at this. On the banking, clean around the outside, just like made him look really stupid there as we hold it to the right here. Now, I did go a bit slow here, but we're going to receive a big old whack in the rear end. And this guy, is he the new Momos? Should we change the title of this video to a Kirith style, is this the new Momos? Because I reckon it might be, you know. I reckon it might be. Anyway, up the inside we go, really shoving him wide. He performs the old switcheroo, but then I perform the reverse double switcheroo. It's all getting complicated now, guys. It really is, as I get back into the lead just before the end of the race. Absolutely incredible scenes here at the Lake Louise short circuit. So we bring home an incredible win for the Subaru factory squad. Now, the final race is at the Hash Brown Raceway version, the Tri-Oval So let's give this one a go. I decided to jump into the Ford Mustang for this. There's only 5 of us, but that doesn't mean it can't be a good race. Every race so far has been a good race, even though we've had minimal people in the lobby. So thank you to those that did join. And again, look at this. Riding the outside. It's just the line. You've got to take it. That's just the way to take it. Now, I've got to say, overall, this track, you know what? I wasn't keen to see it in the trailer for it's a snow track. I'm not that keen on that, but you know what? I actually quite enjoy it. I think it's something a bit different. We've seen snow tracks before in previous Gran Turismos, but not in this one. So it's a bit of variety within the game. I quite enjoy this. You know, I don't know how much replay ability it's going to give me. I'm not sure how much I'm going to play it, but it's been a bit of a blast, something different. I've enjoyed it. As that guy turns right on a straight, which is not the correct way to navigate a straight. Ideally, you just want to drive straight, really. So turning is not what I suggest. Now, Thick Strawberry in the Ford Focus, he's just going to drive off into the distance, and he stood no chance, really. This guy in the Celica was also very good in straight line. Now, of course, you need a slightly different setup for this track. This is very much a straight line speed kind of track, and you know, I just didn't have that. As our Celica driving friend there has a bit of a mare and is going to do a nice little pirouette. So back into second, I was not able to keep up with the Ford Focus. In fact, look at this. It was a really good battle between the two of us. We were just swapping and changing positions. I think I was better through the corners, but this guy had better straight line speed, and so it was a very up and down battle between the pair of us, going up and down into second and third, with our NSX driving wall riding friend very close in contention just behind. Look at the speed difference. It was actually quite ridiculous. So here, pulling off a sumptuous move around the outside. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. This is lap 5 of 6, moving on to lap 6 of 6, turning into this one, and our friend Momos, the Saudi Arabian Momos, comes in, and I'm going to get run wide, and it looked like a sure second, and it's going to turn into a 4th here on the final corner. Absolute disaster. But I've got to say that these races were fun, as he goes for a bit of a levitation session once again. I really enjoyed these races. It was a fun track. It'd be interesting to see if this is next week's daily race, which I imagine it may well be. So if it is, I hope to see you in the lobby at turn 1, probably upside down or in the air. Okay guys, that is Lake Louise. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.